Hey guys, it's been a long time since I've seen you on this channel. I hope you've all been doing well. Today we're going to go over the Bounty Hunter Code book. It's super interesting. As you can tell by the title of the book here, it's just super nice artwork. We're going to cover today the non-government bounties section. I think that's pretty cool information in here. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you wouldn't even think to have asked yourself. So without further ado, if you like this video, make sure to like it and drop a subscription because I'm going to be posting a lot more Star Wars content again. So let's get into it. There are plenty of hunts that don't go through the Imperial Office of Criminal Investigation. In fact, bounty hunters privately contracted by the Hutts or the mega corporations might go their entire careers without ever working an official government hunt. Underworld bounties are regularly posted on shadow feeds like Cybernar's Infonet and any posting agency that can tap these hidden notes if you pay off the right infochant. You can also find some of these bounties in the holo feed scrolling across the wall of a bounty hunter's cantina. And if you're carrying a hunter image caster, you can just pass it in front of the display to transfer the data to your own device. This also logs your intention to pursue the bounty. And then so Greedo leaves a comment. He says, "I need to get one of those image casters." It's kind of funny because Greedo is just like a lower quality bounty hunter in my eyes. The Blacklist is the underworld equivalent of the most wanted rankings, but it's only available to the very best hunters in the galaxy. Only certain high-level clients can post to it as well. So a blacklist hunt might come from the likes of Baron Taj, Prince Zezor, or maybe even Lord Vader himself. Besides, knowing that the list is out there somewhere, you won't need to take any action when it comes to the blacklist. If you're good enough someday, the blacklist will come to you. And then we go to corporate bounties. So they're backed up by billion credit operating budgets, and you can stuff your pockets if you're willing to grit your teeth through business headaches like filing every bounty claim in triplicate. Corporate bounties are just as legitimate as IOCI bounties and are sometimes listed in a governmental data core, a holdover from when the Trade Federation and Intergalactic Banking Clan and the Commerce Guild held more power than the entire Republic Senate. Those days aren't entirely gone. If TagCo and Sinar Fleet Systems are anything to go by, and if you're hoping to do jobs in the corporate sector, corporate bounties are the only game in town. No matter what's listed on the bounty postings, companies will always pay you more when you reach out to them directly. Contact the Human Resources Department, Crimson Trade Division. I think that's so funny. And then it goes, there are also private bounties, which any citizen can post so as long as they put the money up in advance and provide some documentation of the alleged crime. These bounties often happen when lovers' quarrels go sour and the payout usually stinks. Leave them for independent hunters to gnaw on. And then the last big provider of bounties, and also the newest, is the Imperial Security Bureau. The ISB's listings aren't traditionally government bounties because nobody on their list has committed what you'd consider a crime. And that right there, believe it or not, is the sunny side of living under the Empire. More hunts for hunters. And then Dangar circled sunny side. He goes, sunny side, that's a good one. But we also have another tidbit here from Boba, which is pretty interesting because he's the last person to apparently have had this book. He goes, curious that Kratos allowed this to make it into the recruitment guild. Every hunter at the blacklist level long ago left the guild behind. Boba. On this next section, we continue into the ISB's Enforcement Division effectively tripled the number of enforceable offenses when it added things like failure to comply with the precepts of Emperor Palpatine's new order. What does that even mean? Absolutely anything the ISB wants it to mean. The ISB's bounty postings are known as LAAC docs for legal authorization for advanced containment, and its list of suspects is as long as a Gungan's tongue. Technically, because there's no crime, there's no bounty, but that just means the ISB calls it an honorarium, and it's business as usual. Acquisitions you bring in under LAAC docs are detained indefinitely by the ISB on the authority of Emperor Palpatine's High Inquisitors. You can bet you'll never see those poor barves again. But maybe you have a problem rounding up rebels. Not too many hunters like it. It's not my favorite job either, but these are the times we live in. And have you seen how much the ISB will pay for Princess Leia Organa? And then right there, Greedo goes, let her come to Tatooine, I'll get her. If you've got the skills, you can start dreaming of the regatta yacht on Spira again. And then we go into bounty classifications. So bigger crimes equal bigger payouts, except for all the times when a client throws a fortune on the head of somebody who humiliated them over something small. It happens all the time, and all in the name of pride. But in general, there's a predictable incentive riser baked into the system. From biggest to smallest, here's how the IOCI and the Bounty Hunters Guild classify hunts. So we go most wanted. Bounty range in excess of 200,000 credits. So these are the big dragfish, the ones the Empire calls imminent threats to public safety or imperial security. The money is great, but don't be stupid enough to think that these are your retirement tickets. Everybody on the most wanted list is there for a reason, one that could be purely political, but also could involve some serious mayhem. At the very least, a criminal on this list has done an incredible job of avoiding capture. That's why they're now our problem, and not buried in some law officer's case file. Killers and maniacs on the most wanted list are usually marked dead or alive. Political dissidents are marked locate and detain, which means don't shoot unless you're sure the target is going to survive a blaster bolt when you're aiming. And then Bosk says, I'd like to see Boba on the list. And it says here, you took out a walker, welcome to the most wanted list. Crimes that land people on the most wanted list include conspiracy, sedition, or treason against the Empire, destruction or theft of imperial property valued in excess of 250,000 credits, impersonation of an imperial officer, flight to avoid imperial prosecution, and obstruction of imperial authority. That last one is vague on purpose and is often used to justify some petty power trips. Lots of people will complain to your face about it, but like I always tell them, we bounty hunters are just some messengers. If they want to get mad at someone, they can go shake their fists at a Grand Moff. Galactic bounty range is 50,000 to 200,000 credits. So these Sleemos aren't bad enough to land on the most wanted list, but they've earned a galaxy-wide bounty just the same. The galaxy list is tens of thousands of names long, where the most wanted list is only a few hundred, and some of them have been listed for decades. Don't expect any hunts at this level from your guild contractor. By the time you're ready to tackle a galactic bounty, you'll have long since earned a right to pick your own hunts. Then Greedo says, I was born to tackle these high-level bounties. Yeah, sure, buddy. And then this says, 0G boarding of a drone barge. This makes the Empire angry. Yeah, no doubt. Crimes for landing on the galactic list include aggression against a member of the Imperial Armed Forces, bribery of an Imperial officer, transportation of restricted items. This is bigger offense than simply smuggling and usually means stolen prototypes of a superweapon plans. Okay, cool. Piracy, especially those rim runners who prey on Imperial drone barges, and possession of a cloaking device. After the Stygian mines ran dry, a cloaking tech became the Empire's little secret. What you should know about this particular crime is that the Imperials don't care as much about the person as they do about the person's ship. Makes sense. And then we go to regional bounties. So they range from 20 to 75,000 credits. Like it says, a regional bounty is offered only within a specific galactic region. The core worlds accepted. That can be anything from colonies, inner rim, expansion regions, mid rims, and outer rim, all the way to specialty hunts like centrality. Notably, exceptions are the corporate sector and hut space, where local officials direct their own bounty operations independent of the IOCI. 8 out of every 10 regional bounties are posted within the outer rim territories, so get used to it. It's the biggest place for a target to hide. Beneath its hull, this tanker is probably stuffed with illegal modifications. Crimes that will earn somebody a spot on a regional bounty hunter list is murder of Imperial government personnel. Regular old murder isn't enough to rate a regional bounty. And then you could also do forgery. So a good forger can reproduce anything from the IPKC to a $100,000 credit note. And a good forger is smart enough to not get caught. A forger who's earned a regional bounty probably got backstabbed by a partner, which if you're smart is where you should start your hunt. Operating an unlawful starship, so it's a private freighter that's got military-grade shielding and a torpedo rack, is breaking dozens of laws just by existing. It's rare to see a bounty posted for this crime, but it can happen if a captain skips out on the Bureau of Ships and Services annual shakedown. Transporting stolen goods. This one is in the books to target the smuggling kingpins who regularly move million-credit payloads. When you track one of them down, don't be surprised when they offer double or triple the bounty value to buy you off. I trust you know by now that nothing comes between a hunter and an acquisition. So we go to sector, system, and planetary. That's the smaller bounties, which range between 3 and 50,000 credits. These bounties are offered within a specific sector, system, or planet's gravity well. They'll probably only show up when you're searching a localized node of the data core. Even though they don't have big payouts, a decent hunter can collar this level of low-grade merchandise again and again, making more in pin money than they would if they spent half a year tracking Jarl the Conqueror to score a single big payday. Here's what lands somebody on this list: aiding and abetting criminal activity, murder, kidnapping, transportation of passengers in violation of customs laws, so illegal immigration, that's fucking hilarious, possession of an illegal weapon, smuggling, these are usually small jobs, operating an illegally modified starship, usually the equipment is legal but somebody forgot to get their permits, and breaking into an Imperial installation or jamming official communications. And then you have a comment from Greedo here. He goes, "I'll bet Solo's ship is totally illegal." And then you have Han Solo commenting, actually. That's kind of hilarious. He goes, "I had no idea Greedo was so preoccupied with me." Oh, that's lovely. And then we have corporate bounties. That's it for the IOCI bounties, but the rules are different when somebody other than the government puts a price on a head. Corporate bounties, for example, have almost nothing to do with public safety. What kinds of crimes will make an exec mad enough to hire a hunter? It's all about protecting their profit statements. So, industrial espionage, theft of or destruction of corporate property, criminal trespass on company facilities, unauthorized use of company databases, malicious corruption of company records, attempted bribery or intimidation of company employees, illegal replication of a trademark device, or violation of a company's security agreement. And then in the picture here, the description is corporations aren't too happy when somebody steals their trade secrets, which you can totally understand. I bet that shit happens in real life as well. Underworld bounties, by contrast, are always a surprise. You'll see lots of death marks slapped on the heads of major domos who stole from their masters or who turned traitor by testifying for imperial prosecutors. But because a good chunk of these bounties are posted by the clan leaders on Nal Hutta, a crime can be anything that made a hut cranky. A chef who put too many fleek eels in the pudding, for example. An animal wrangler for the dungeon menagere who was on duty when the monster died of old age. I remember one singer, $20,000 on his head, and all he did was mispronounce the Huttese Grantu Chateau, which means wondrous one, as Grantu Chateau, wondrous runt. Nice. He said Shoto instead of Chateau, and he's worth $20,000. Sure, I felt bad when I turned him over to Zero's goons, and I sighed a little when I saw him toss him out the window of Zero's 700th floor penthouse, but a smart hunter goes where the credits are. And then you have Bosk here, saying that he did some work for Zero, paid almost as well as Jabba. And Zero had no sense of humor, but he paid quite well. That's pretty accurate if you've watched the Clone Wars. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little video. It's some pretty interesting bounty hunter lore. I thought it was kind of cool how they paid them different for different jobs, like obviously, but it was interesting to learn about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.